So Dhruv, can I request you to be seated here? And somebody can give Dhruv a mic so that he can answer the questions post that. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen and cadets. And yes, as Dhruv said, we are into the lunchtime, so I'm sorry about the delay. And Shaukat has warned me, nothing beyond 2 p.m., so we are going to restrict our question and answers. First of all, a wonderful presentation and a lovely way to take forward e-commerce in the maritime supply chain. And I think from the traditional maritime industry and what we do very, very traditionally, and we are used to doing everything traditionally, this becomes a welcome change. And I think it's really lovely. And the expansion plan which Dhruv has for his company and to take this process forward, I think that's awesome. Secondly, I can tell you, Dhruv, that Great Eastern, one of your clients, as you showed, and our head of procurement tells me, a lovely gentleman, despite being an entrepreneur and with huge dreams, and somebody who's really very approachable and very supportive, and the product is excellent. I mean, we are very happy with the way the procurement is being done for Great Eastern Shipping. So I guess this is the way forward. This is tomorrow, and I think that I'm sure there are a lot of questions to be asked by all of you all. But I have been listening, and I think I have a couple of questions myself, and I think one question from the various listeners on YouTube. So I'm just going to take them first, and then we can go ahead with the audience. So one was like, as I mentioned, this is a very traditional industry using age-old practices. So and we know we are all very reluctant to undergo digitization. So how does ShipScard break through the routines or this barrier?
So obviously, when we started out, as I said, in India, the being such a traditional industry, to break through, in any Indian company has been the biggest challenge. You'll have to actually pester them and go to their Bombay office every year and tell them that, this is what you're doing and this is how you can help them. So it was very, very difficult because the nexus and, the sort of, the relationship that Indian company specifically has with a vendor in India is so strong that it is impossible to break through. However, to our good luck, you see all the Indian companies from Seven Island Shipping to Great Eastern to Great Ship to Adani to Triton Maritime. I think whichever we have, wherever we have got an opportunity, we've never let it go post that. So, they've been our clients for last 1.5 years, and yes, it was a challenge to break through, but once we were given the opportunity, we've never let it go. Even I can add JSW to that. We're doing 17 ships for them. So yes, it was a challenge, but I think it helps. When you attend conferences like this, also you meet so many people, and it's not just about exchanging cards, but they do support an entrepreneur, a young company, and that's what has happened with us also. I've attended these events, and somewhere I'll just go and meet somebody at Adani, and thereafter exchange card, and he will further connect me with somebody, but that somebody will not help. Then I'll again reach out to the person that I reached out, and he will put in a word. So it has helped us. We've been able to break through, and here we are. We're working with the best.
Okay, self-confessed young company, as you said. The pandemic has been an adverse situation for all of us, and your company being so nascent and just a baby, how did you overcome all the hindrances and the obstacles due to the pandemic and continue to stay afloat?
So yeah, pandemic obviously was difficult for everybody, and it was, but thankfully, our revenues never, went down. In fact, we added most clients during the pandemic because people were working from home. They had limited access to ship suppliers. They did not know which ship supplier would be able to supply at the port, and obviously we had like we are a marketplace for ship suppliers. So yes, it helped our revenue, it helped our growth. We added more clients, and yes, though pandemic was the worst thing that has happened to this world, but for our business, it was a blessing in disguise.
There is one question which I got from a viewer online. It says that since you mentioned about the recent funding, so what is the way ahead for Shipscart with this funding? What are the plans?
With this recent funding, we are, as I said, opening more warehouses, or as I call, in a more fancy term, aggregator centers, where we can aggregate and supply to ships. So in the next 1.5 years, we'll have that pan-India presence, and thereafter, with the same funding amount, we'll be opening such centers in UAE and Singapore as well. So being a startup, we are not, we are very this thing particular about the expenditure, the overhead expenses. So we're trying to collaborate with as many companies as possible, wherein the likes of Amazon, the likes of, like in India, we've collaborated with Big Basket, and so wherein they have the setup already with them. We just have to aggregate everything and push forward. So with this funding, we will be using the funds to expand mainly in India.
Yeah, that's wonderful to know. We hope to see more and more of it in the near future.
Thank you so much.
So I throw the floor open to the audience for their questions. Yes, can somebody give the mic?
Thank you, Viraf here. Captain Dhruv,
Can you introduce yourself so that the people...
Yeah, Viraf from Fleet Management Training. Good afternoon, everybody. Captain Dhruv, Shipscart, is there potential for API gateway with the existing PMS system, computer-based, of course?
Absolutely. So, every company these days has an ERP software. So if we want to take this, forward and, make it a standard purchasing platform in each company, we have to have an API, and which we do. So, we can integrate our platform with possibly all the, existing platforms, so that, whatever the ship requires to, they can shop on Shipscart, and all the data that you require will be transferred to your API, transferred to your ERP software.
Thanks. And just half a question more. Currently, is there any kind of inventory management system also? Yes, requisition, yes, but is there some triggers for low inventory or something like that?
Yes, so we've basically got two inventory management system. One is obviously for our in-house warehouses, and the second one is for the ship. Even the inventory management, also the budget management.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Again, Singh.
Captain Dhruv, congratulations a ton.
Thank you,
sir. We are really proud to see, I can say, a youngster like you, because I was just trying to check when you started your sea career. And,
2003.
Yeah, it's in this millennium. So congratulations, first of all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
For taking it up and taking the plunge and making it happen. I have very simple questions. Being a seafarer, the things which used to come to my mind, I'm going to put it forward to you. It can be a question, it can be a suggestion. One mistake people used to do, searching from IMPA, they used to order things which was not applicable to the ship. For example, ordering things for a tanker and is not applicable to be used on a tanker. How are we taking that into account? And second is that people used to get wrong spares, either because of the wrong order or because of the wrong supply or substandard things on board, and they used to keep quiet over it, shove it in the store somewhere in the corner, chief officer after chief officer. It is just lying there, a waste for the company, for everyone. So how can we take care of these two things?
Sir, so basically, very, very valid questions, both of them. And the first question about, people are ordering through IMPA, but, it might not be required on board. So in that regard, we are following the B2B approval process. The captain or anybody, any officer on ship will just make a requisition. Obviously, it has to follow the due approval process. So it will go to the purchase executive, the superintendents, they will approve it. So you've got even in our platform, you've got an approval limit set. So if I've got an approval limit of $10,000, I will not be able to approve anything which is above $10,000. So you have an approval limit. You will see the captain has not ordered a PS5 or a PS4, right? The video game is not something which is necessity. So there would be budget restrictions also. For every category you've been assigned a budget. So yes, that due approval process where the company knows what you're ordering and the company can only approve. The captain cannot just order anything and everything and directly will place the order with the vendor. No, it will go through that approval process. So that's the answer to your first question. And the The second question is about, you said, sorry, I missed about the wrong suppliers, right? So basically, the vendors that we are working with are, we obviously do our due diligence when we are onboarding them. The best part is that, even if there is something which is wrongly delivered to you, I'm just saying hypothetically there is something which is wrongly delivered, because we're supplying all over the world, we can, we can replace it, exchange it, and or just issue a credit note to you if the mistake has been from our end. But that's what, the biggest challenge is not to make the platform. The biggest challenge has been to make the catalog. To have these sort of products with their pictures. Like I want to buy a bed sheet in India, I need to have whether I'm buying I need to know whether this is a Bombay dyeing or this is, which brand is it. So let the user choose, what he needs to choose, and that's been the biggest challenge. So to do it, for the world over, is a Herculean task, right? So, but I know that once we finish for India, which we will in the next 6 months, I think we'll win half the battle.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep.
I'm Kulkarni from Ace Insurance. I just would like to know, how do you ensure that rates are most competitive? Because there's generally no competition for your, because somebody is ordering directly from you. He doesn't have any competition. So how do you ensure the rates are most competitive?
Hi sir, nice to meet you. I think we met at the SCI office long time back. And though you really liked the platform, but you could not push it with the government. But I'm thankful. Good to see you here again. So, obviously, we are not competitive everywhere around the world, not possible, because the volumes are not the same everywhere in the world. But if you see places where we have our own warehouses, we are the most competitive, because we are working on very thin margins, 7 to 10% to be very precise. And even places like Singapore, UAE, Rotterdam's, where the volume is so much that we get volume discounts from suppliers, and that we pass it on to our owners. Just to give you a brief idea, last year we were at a monthly GMV, or as you call, monthly recurring revenue was about $275,000, and that is the average for last financial year. And this financial year we are at $500,000 already. So we are generating $500,000 of GMV every month now. So that volume, because has increased, the discounts have also gone up, and that discount we pass it on to our owners, and that's why we were able to get in so many owners so quickly. Because the discounts is, they're looking for discounts and we're giving them that. So yes, but again, as I said, that will not be competitive everywhere. We're not at that stage right now. But yes, I think about 70% of the places we would be very competitive.
Okay. Yeah. One question from you.
Good day. My name is David De Silva from Fleet Management Training Institute. I would like to ask two questions. One is there a feedback system on the quality of the products for every product or every requisition which is placed? And second question is, do you also deal with the fresh provisions? Because if you deal with fresh provisions, maybe it will make the chief cook's life better.
I can answer the second question. He does provisions for Great Eastern.
Okay.
So I think coming back to the first question first, for the feedback. So how you use Amazon. Whenever you order from Amazon, the next time whenever you go to the website or to the app, it sends you a reminder notification saying that, do you want to review your last order? It's exactly the same like here. Exactly the same here. You can a captain can review the order. The company can review the order. They can write anything about the vendor, the services, the online platform, everything. So you'll have a feedback on every order. Secondly, I think provisions is possibly the most difficult market, but also the easiest to enter. In the sense that companies do not use ERP softwares for provisions. It's easy to enter, but and there are difficult companies also, because who really, really want everything, Great Ship, Great Eastern, Seven Islands, all the Indian companies. Obviously, provisions has that emotional value, right, attached to it. Even when I was sailing, anything wrong supplied, had serious repercussions, right? And so it is very difficult market, it is very difficult to maintain. But if if you go and see our Mumbai warehouse, whoever has come there, we're very new. We are just about a year old, and this new warehouse is only about 4 months. We have got everything there, from a cold storage to to dry provisions to not fresh. Fresh obviously has to come every day. But other than that, we've got everything and anything there. So that's why we're doing a lot of revenue in making a lot of money from Bombay, because in 2 hours also we can supply. Provided we have the gate passes and all those sort of things, and that's what we are trying to replicate in every other port also.
Thank you.
One last question. I think we need to round off. Okay, let me ask the question. Dhruv, what is the difference between being a master on the ship, where you are heading the ship, and the CEO of a company? The difference between the leadership.
I've never, I always have believed that, sailing was the journey which led me here. I would never want to go back to sea and sail again. Obviously not, because I think that I always thought that I was meant for other things than just sailing. And, but today, whatever I've learned is because of sailing. I was 35 months as a chief officer, and to manage the crew, to manage the people. So you obviously learned a lot of people management from there. And now, when you have a team of about 40 odd people, yes, it is very challenging. But I think the most challenging part was to learn, different, departments, to learn more about HR, to learn more about, finance, accounting. So yes, it has been very challenging. It is a very different life here. But yes, the seeds were sowed back at the sea, and that's what I'm reaping the benefits here at shore.
Great. Thank you so much. Let's have a wonderful round of applause for Dhruv. Thank you.
Networking opened doors for you that degrees cannot. And I believe that's been the motto of Captain Dhruv. And all of us present in this room, we send best wishes to you that the company becomes a unicorn very soon. With that, may I please request Mr. Amar Singh Thakur to present a memento to Captain Dhruv.
Impression of how non-maritime people see maritime. There was a lady walking and then she asked me, "Sir, यहाँ पे 5 number का जूता मिलता है क्या?" And this is one. The other thing that crossed my mind is, how did you manage to get the funding? Because the moment they ask you what you're going to do with the money, and that was David's question, I would have said something like, "Lokhandwala में 3 bedroom का flat खरीद लूँगा." Please.
May I please request Captain David to be on stage? Mr. David, my apologies. Thank you so much for moderating the session, sir.